Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbookingncraft, just coming on with another video with me jelly plating or gel printing. You'll get sick of seeing these videos. I love my gel plate and I sort of could sit there all day for 8 hours and jelly plate papers. Hoping to do some collage and make some things with the papers I make. So I decided to grab out my 8-inch round jelly plate and make some patterns on it. First one I'm doing a bit of random pattern and then I get a bit creative. Wow. So I'm using my new foam stamps. By the time this video airs, all my foam stamps should be in my store. I've got half of them in there while I'm filming this, and then the other half I've got to sit down and load. So I love how the foam stamps look on the gel plate. You can also use the gel plate as like an ink pad to ink up the to ink up the paint on the stamps to get embellishments or make your own pattern papers or stamp in your journals. You can also use the foam stamps without the gel plate, but I just find it easy. I often get out my small gel plate and just use it like an ink pad. So using the leaf designs, I really like this leaf design. So here I'm doing a deliberate circle, and you can actually see, not so well in the camera, but when you're live doing it, you can actually see where you've put the stamp, so you can be very deliberate in doing a design. Sorry about that. I seem to yawn every time I decide to do a voiceover. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I shouldn't be tired. Oh, I don't know. So just pressing the stamps into the gel plate. I find it's easy to do the stamps. Drop them on, and then press them flat with your hand, and then pick them up and drop them on the paper and press them flat with your hand. That works best, because then you're getting an overall coverage. And depending on whether you want a good stamped image to work with or a good gel print, that is absolutely gorgeous, that one, is depending on how much paint you put down. If you're wanting a great stamped image, you use a little more paint, but then your overall print won't be as nice. It will be a bit more goopy. We're getting real technical today. Goopy. So it sort of depends. You've got to decide when you're using the foam stamps which end product you're aiming for. Yes, you get 2 lots of papers, but it just depending on which one you're wanting a bit more perfectly painted. As you can see off to the right, the stamps aren't coming out as perfect, but what I'm focusing on is actually the gel print background itself. I'll be using these in some mini books and some card making things coming up. And also I use them in my paper painting, which I'm endeavouring to do one of those soon and show you what that's all about as well. So that one's nice as well. So I'm using Montmark paints. These are the paints that I decided to play with at a local craft show in Melbourne. Just gone this past weekend. I was a very bad YouTube blogger and didn't get any footage at the show. We were so busy at the Melbourne Showgrounds in late August at Paperific. Sunday morning I was going to film the stand and show you some, but we started to get busy and I just worked all day and basically forgot, which is dreadful of me. I promise I'll be a better blogger at the next show. So the Montmark paints are very opaque and very on the thick side, so they worked very well at the show. You can use any acrylic paints, but some acrylic paints are better than others. Some are too thin and translucent, but these ones are a nice thick one, and they're a good price point. They're $4 for that tube. I don't have the tubes in front of me, so I can't tell you how big the tubes are, but they're an average sized tube of paint. They're $4, and I get them at wherever Montmark is stocked, usually your cheapy $2 shops. Discount stores stock their products. And the colours work nice together too. I love this blue. It's showing up a bit more blue in the camera than it does in real life. It's a bit more darker. I do need to work on a bigger surface when I gel plate because I have stuff everywhere. Sorry I'm out of frame a little at the end. I love that stamp I'm using at the moment. You can use it as a leaf, you can use it as a feather. It looks almost like a peacock feather, so I'm wanting to stamp out a whole bunch in blues and greens and use them as an array of peacock feathers. And that stamp also comes in the smaller version as well. So that'd be great to layer. So I will be filming that when I get around to doing it, hopefully the next couple of weeks. That will be a very long video or several part video because that will take me a while to do because I want to print up all the like the feathery stamps, and then I'll have to cut them out and paste them all in. I like that too. I like my round jelly plate. I don't like the 8-inch one as much as the smaller ones because I use the smaller ones as stamps, but I do like this one to make full pattern pages that I will use eventually. It really depends on what I'm using my gel prints for as to what gel plate I use. This is one of the last couple of prints. Just trying to get organised. As you can see, my gel plate is stuck on a white piece of acrylic. It's just some scrap acrylic I picked up at the local acrylic place here in Bendigo. So this is one of my favourite stamps, this interlocking circles. And I'm actually wanting to make this stamp in a negative version as well. I do have a negative positive set of a round stamp with petals in circles on it, but I do want to make that one into the negative version of it as well. So I have loads of ideas for loads of different stamps, and they're well received at the show, which was fantastic. This is the little leaf I'm talking about. I'm not getting a good impression from that because the paint is drying. I was doing this in my lounge room the other day, and I had the heater blaring because it's freezing cold in Bendigo at the moment. So it's a better look there. You can actually see the impressions of the stamps. So when you're using the stamps on a gel plate, you want to stamp off the paper even if you're not wanting to use that part of the product, because otherwise you're transferring paint from one place to another on the plate. You're not actually removing the paint from the plate. You won't get as white stamped images in your print if you just move the paint around the plate. So you're wanting to actually move it off, and stamping it on the paper does remove the paint from this foam stamp. You don't need to wash our foam stamps. The only reason I would wash it is if I got a big goopy spot in one of the dinted holes. That would affect stamping again. But at the show for 3 days I demonstrated with these stamps, and I just let the paint build up. You can also use these stamps with inks as well, and I'll be doing a series on that on our channel as well. We've got loads of things coming up in September. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Please hit that like button as well. It helps YouTube share our channel and get it recommended to other people. Thank you for your time for watching, and I will upload some new videos soon. Thank you. Bye for now.